would say, I'm going to go celebrate with my hot husband and my cute baby backstage. I don't need you. Have a good day. I doubt she'll be doing much celebrating, by the way, at the way Seth Rollins' match went with Bobby Lashley. I'll get to that later. We then got an interview segment with AJ Styles saying he wants to see Omos succeed. Omos then approached AJ Styles and said they're all good, and AJ Styles smiled. I guess we are getting that tag team reunion. I guess it is not them breaking up. I don't know. After this, we got a 24/7 segment with Dana Brooke and Reggie kind of flirting as they walk through the snow, saying he could buy her a hot chocolate. Shit like that. And then they were attacked by R-Truth, Akira Tozawa, and Tamina. They would make their getaway. Reggie would definitely help. R-Truth would definitely help Dana Brooke get away. After this, we got Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode versus Finn Balor and United States Champion Damian Priest. Finn Balor got distracted actually on the outside as Austin Theory would take another selfie with Finn Balor, but this would allow, as Finn Balor was going for a coup de grace, Dolph Ziggler to get up and actually roll Finn Balor up at the coup de grace for the win. It's a very unique, actually, little finish there. I haven't seen the roll up in the coup de grace in a long time, and I love that. I thought that was a very cool finish for that match. It made me smile. I'll give you that one. That made me smile a lot when I saw that. So, bravo. Bravo to WWE for keeping that one fresh. And bravo to Dirty Dogs for picking up the win here. I guess Dolph Ziggler is going to be the real champion going into this. He's going to be the real champion for the United States Championship. I would love to see that, and maybe Damian Priest gets a main event push. Just maybe. After this, we got Women's Tag Team Champions Zelena Vega versus Ria Ripley. This was a weird match. It actually was a very quick 48-second match, but it was basically 48 seconds of distraction. Carmella would try to attack Ria Ripley. Nikki Ash would stop her on the outside, and then would run to the ring. Rhea Ripley's like, what the hell's going on? And Zelena Vega would roll Rhea Ripley up for the win. So Zelena Vega beats Rhea Ripley. After this, we got Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. This was a cool match because it showed what I've been hoping for a long time. Of Kevin Owens came out and attacked Seth Rollins, and they announced winner by disqualification, Seth Rollins, which means Bobby Lashley won't be going to day one. And Seth Rollins was like, that's genius. I love it. You can see heel Kevin Owens it's heel Seth Rollins actually getting along, and I love that. So, but unfortunately, Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce then came out and said, however, it's not going to end like that. We're not going to let this end in a DQ. It will be no DQ. Bobby Lashley then hit Seth with a spear, pinned him, and won the match. After this, we got Austin Theory coming out and coming to Vince McMahon's office asking him if he saw what he did to Finn Balor. And we got Mr. McMahon, who was in the middle of a meeting with Apollo Crews, basically saying, I don't care what you did. We are not friends. Please stop coming into my office. And you saw Austin Theory kind of get ejected and walk out. I guess we are getting a weird, odd couple between Vince McMahon and Austin Theory now. I guess that's what WWE likes to book. After that, we got Miz TV announcing that Miz hopes to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this year in 2022. I would actually kind of like to see that. Miz is a great wrestler. He's done everything in wrestling you could possibly do except win the Royal Rumble. He's main evented WrestleMania. He's won every single title he possibly can. He's come back through basically not the locker room completely destroying him. And he's done everything he can to become a locker room leader and actually be a guy who's liked backstage and considered one of the safest wrestlers in the world. So, bravo to him. Bravo to The Miz if he actually gets in the WWE Hall of Fame. We then got Edge coming out saying he didn't deserve it, and he's going to teach him a lesson at day one. He then attacked The Miz, him with a spear. went to go in with the spear, but hit DDT instead. The Miz brought Maurice in the middle of him. Edge stopped, and Miz kicked Edge in the face, then delivered the skull-crushing finale. But Maurice was not happy with being used as a distraction and slapped the shit out of the Miz. Slapped the shit out of him. So, that was pretty funny to see. I enjoyed that. And we then got your main event. Your main event was Bobby Lashley versus WWE Champion Big E. Big E would fight Bobby Lashley as hard as he could. It would be a great match to watch. And they would try to do everything they can for Bobby Lashley to pick up the win. Bobby Lashley would then actually spear Big E through a table, but Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens would come out and attack both wrestlers, trying to cause the end to this match. They would attack Bobby Lashley first, and then they would attack Big E when Big E says, "I'm not winning like that." You would put him through tables. They would put Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins through a table. Big E would basically hit a rock bottom on Kevin Owens, putting him through a table. And then Bobby Lashley would spear Seth Rollins through a table. I thought that was a really cool thing because for me, it made me look at it as maybe these two can work together. And I really do hope they actually put them in a tag team because I could see Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens being like Stone Cold and Triple H when they were a tag team together and winning the tag team championships, maybe winning the WWE championship and being shit like that. I would love to see that. That would make me so happy if we could get that tag team. Anyway, after this, Big E would be put through a table, would kick out of a spear, would kick out of the Hurt Lock, and would finally be pinned. And I'm hearing so many people, "Oh, you want the WWE champion get pinned?" Yeah, he's not invincible. That shit doesn't just happen. You have to have him lose every now and then. You have to have him lose. So, Bobby Lashley paying Big E was the right call here. I actually enjoyed that match. It was a great match. If you got time, go back and watch it. Great ending to Monday Night Raw. I enjoyed Monday Night Raw this week. I really did. I enjoyed the building they had, except for maybe the Austin Theory and Vince McMahon shit. I thought it was a very good Raw. I enjoyed it. So, very good on WWE this week, except for some of the screwy endings on SmackDown, but there's still more to get into in this podcast. You know what's coming up next. A classic pay-per-view review as we go on to New Year's Revolution 2005. That's right, the first ever New Year's Revolution, and also very big historical revolution. You guys know why. I'll get into that in a second. First off, the real pay-per-view kicked off from San Juan, Puerto Rico, in Coliseo de Puerto Rico with an attendance of 15,764 people, buy rate of 270,000. Next pay-per-view would be the Royal Rumble, and it would be a great little pay-per-view itself. Eugene and William Regal would defeat Christian and Tyson Tocomo in a 12-man tag team match for the WWE Tag Team Championships, which was an okay match. It wasn't great. It wasn't a match that I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this match again. But it was a match that I was like, okay, that's different. Okay, alright. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. We then got Tristi Raddus versus Leta for the WWE Women's Championship, in which Leta would lose the Women's Championship. This would be before she teamed up with Edge. She would still be loved by the fans, and this would be right in the middle of her Kane storyline where she was still married to Kane. Trish Stratus would be her enemy. It's funny if you go back and watch the one from next year, which is the cash-in, of how she goes from being loved to being hated. It's amazing. We then got Shelton Benjamin versus Maven in a Interconnell Championship match. It's funny to watch Maven like this. he's being put in a championship match. This is when he was huge after having that big thing with The Undertaker in the Royal Rumble, and he's actually liked here. It's very funny to watch him go from this to where he is basically irrelevant. After this, we got Muhammad Hassan versus Jerry Lawler in a singles match. Unfortunately, Muhammad Hassan would be picked up very, very well here. He would be... People would really love Muhammad Hassan at this point, but it would turn on him. This would be before the big... I'm trying to think of the right words here. Before the big disaster of the masked men attacking The Undertaker. And it would kind of lead to him really... The masked men attacking The Undertaker would lead to him being completely booked terribly. And he would unfortunately lead to the end of Muhammad Hassan's career. But here he was being pushed strong because he was supposed to be the man to take the WWE World Heavyweight Championship later in the years. So him being Jerry Lawler was supposed to be kind of his big coming out party. After that, we get Kane versus Jean Slinsky. The reason these two are fighting is because Jean Slinsky caused Leta, Kane's wife, who was pregnant with his baby at the time, to have a miscarriage and lose the baby. Leta would be very sad, and after losing her women's championship, she would come out and actually help Kane in this match. This would be the first time we would actually see Kane and Leta working together. And finally, in your main event of the evening, we got the World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber match with your man, the myth, the legend, Shawn Michaels as special guest referee. This would be considered a great Elimination Chamber match. One of the greatest ever, in my opinion. You would have basically Evolution in full effect. It would be Triple H versus Randy Orton versus Batista versus Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit versus Edge. Edge would be eliminated first. He would be eliminated by Chris Jericho. Then you would have Chris Benoit be eliminated by Batista. Chris Jericho then get eliminated by Batista. Randy Orton then eliminate Batista. And finally, Triple H will eliminate Randy Orton. Triple H would enter third and would retain his World Heavyweight Championship. Triple H wins the match and would go on to defend it for a long, long time. Until WrestleMania 21, where he would lose it to Batista. It would be a great match, and it's a pay-per-view that if you have time to go back and watch, that main event is something truly amazing, in my opinion. Truly. The Elimination Chamber has always been my favorite pay-per-view stipulation, and it always will be. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, for this reading of the Book of Rules, we go to the Elimination Chamber. 2 miles of chain, 10 tons of steel. 4 superstars enter one by one after their bulletproof pods open, but not spear-proof. 2 superstars start the match very frequently. Rules of physics. Flesh plus steel equals pain. Eliminations occur by pinfall or submission. Last superstar standing wins. A reading from the Book of Rules. Now, I went to the Book of Rules first because I'm going to go into this drink of the week. We got New Year's coming up, and it's one of my favorite times of the year because I love a good champagne cocktail. I'm that type of guy of, I'll have a champagne cocktail every now and then. So here's your drink of the week. This is called a Mermaid Mimosa. It's a very good, fun little drink you can make. All you need is Midori, pineapple juice, champagne, and blue curacao. People say you can have lime. I actually use a little thing of kiwi. So you pour 1 ounce of Midori into each glass. Then fill the glass 1/3 of the way with pineapple juice. Top with a little bit of the bubbly. add a small splash of blue curacao to get to a green color, and you garnish